Okay, welcome. I want to go over a few things for the Statistics Math 146 course page and how the instructional content is laid out on the course page. So this video is in this Start Here section. Then we have announcements. This first announcement is just about the technology and the materials that we'll need and the costs associated with them. I try to keep the cost in this course very low. It's $30 to use the XYZ, and you need a webcam. So most of us will have that on our computer already, but if you have to buy one, it's about 35 bucks. I have an external one. So the total out-of-pocket expenses should be pretty low for this class. We are going to use Microsoft Excel as our primary technology, and I would suggest you install it rather than just using the online version. We all get a free copy as Seattle College's students, so you just need your Seattle College's email, and then you can install Office from that page when you go in to access your email. There's a textbook. I would just use it as reference. It's the OpenStax statistics book, but I put most of the content in the PowerPoint, so many students have successfully completed the course without really using the book. Here's another kitten cameo. Yeah, okay, sorry. So then we want to look at the next section down is documents. A couple of things in there right now are syllabus and our worksheet packet. That's a packet of worksheets by sort of chapter. That's a blank packet, and then within each course materials, there's solutions to those worksheets. Maybe I'll try to put a packet together with just the solutions there as well. You might, if you want to do them, just take a look at it. You might want to print that packet out, or you might want to see if you want to use them or not. They're optional. And then we have our projects here. We have 3 projects, starting with one where we're just getting data, and I have a little video demonstrating that. I might change some of the due dates a little bit on the projects. I'm trying to work them in so that they're occurring at more appropriate times when we do that course material. But there they are, the 3 of them. And some of the wording there may change. Here's our calendar. And in our calendar, the purple events are all sort of notifications. So I put on each every Monday, I'm telling you what we need to review for the week. So first week is chapter 1 PowerPoints and videos. Next week, chapter 2 PowerPoint and videos. The next 2 weeks is the chapter 3 PowerPoint and videos. We have an exam opening up at the end of the month, and then it closes on that 2 days later. The colors in here are of the other assignments. They'll go from green, which means it's kind of far away, to kind of this yellow to orange, and then to red when it's like due right away. So red, orange, green, yellow, yellow, green, it'll sort of indicate when something is due. We can access the course instructional content. So if we go back to our OneNote here, if you're spending a couple, 2 to 3 hours a day on this class, you're going to be successful. And what are you doing with that 2 or 3 hours? Well, you're probably spending some time going through the PowerPoint presentation and the corresponding videos, and then doing some practice homework. Most people who start with homework and go back for the content struggle a little bit because it's hard to learn that way. It's better to see the content and then do the practice. And then we have Excel assignments with tutorials, worksheets for practice, exam reviews. They're for practice only, but I strongly suggest them. The 3 projects, those are just things, they're not that hard, but you want to start on them a little early so that you don't run into running out of time to do them. And then we have 3 exams and an optional final. So going back over here, where to find this content? Well, you can always go through the calendar here or down below. I've broken things up by exam. So chapters 1 through 3 is in this first block. And the things that you can see right away are the assignments that are due. So 2 homework assignments and an Excel tutorial and exercise. And then the chapter 1 forum. In here are the instructional materials. So if I open that up, we'll first have the first PowerPoint, and I think I have it open here so I can just show you. You know, it's a 20-page PowerPoint. It shouldn't take you too long to go through it. You can kind of go through it loosely, just reading the ideas. At the beginning of each PowerPoint, I usually have what the goals are for that PowerPoint. At the end, I usually have a summary page or 2 kind of summarizing what we learned in the PowerPoint. And that can be good sort of to say, oh, I need to look at the PowerPoint. I'm stuck on a problem on levels of measurement. So I can kind of, oh, that's the 3rd thing covered. And then you can kind of find it in the PowerPoint. Below that is the chapter 1 playlist link. So those are in YouTube, and I have that open as well. This first chapter 1 playlist It only has 4 videos. It's a total of 30 minutes. So, you know, they don't take that long. The material here in chapter 1 is relatively straightforward. It's all definitions. And as long as you kind of read through it and go through it, it tends to go very quickly, especially the homework. Homework is all multiple choice. That homework should be very quick. So much quick so that you can get it wrong and try again and get it right. What we want to keep in mind there is we can't do that on the exam. So if we're getting something wrong, we want to figure out why we're getting it wrong so that we get it right on the exams. The subsequent video links are a little longer. I think chapter 2 here, I have it open. The chapter 2 playlist is, I think it's about, I forget, I added it up. I think it's about a little longer than an hour total time. So it's about twice as long as the chapter 1 one. And then chapter 3 is longer and the problems take longer. And that's a little more than 2 hours worth of videos. So even though I have it, you know, chapter 1 this week, I actually suggest we try to finish most of chapter 2 in the first week. So by the time you're over here next Monday, that you're actually done with this first 2 weeks worth of stuff. It tends to be content that's easier and quicker. So there might be 1 or 2 things in chapter 2 that we need to study on and figure out, but the rest of that content tends to be, for most people, relatively straightforward. Same thing with chapter 1, and then it starts getting a little harder with chapter 3. So we want to give ourselves more time. We get that more time by doing a little more work on the front end. So the PowerPoint, the playlist, then there's an Excel tutorial. Those are going to sort of depend on how comfortable you are learning new technologies and how comfortable you are with Excel. They are designed for someone who doesn't know it. So it's okay if you don't have any experience, but just give yourself a little more time to do stuff. They're also designed to be worked through simultaneously in Excel with the PowerPoint open. And then following each tutorial, there's usually an assignment. So here's the exercise. It's 2 things. It's the tutorial and then another assignment with the assignment. And up here, it's due next Tuesday, the first one. You'll see it's 2 questions. The first question is you're uploading your tutorial, submit your tutorial workbook. The second question, you upload the exercise. So you're handing them both in. Mainly I'm doing that because people were confusing and only doing the one. And I want us to do both. Usually the exercises is like, takes what you learn in the tutorial and you apply it. Okay, so where am I? Quick check of my notes. Then there's a set of worksheets per chapter. So here's the chapter 1 worksheets. Those are blank. Those ones have solutions filled in. Again, see what you think of them. See if you want to use them. Some chapters you might find more valuable than others. They are optional. Here's the 3 homeworks, 2 homeworks and an Excel homework. And then down at the bottom is the chapter 1 forum. You can get to it through here. You can also access it through this link up here, forums, or this thing on the side, forums, and I'll go there in a second. So each exam has, you know, the chapters. So chapters 1 through 3, we have chapter 1 materials, chapter 2 materials, chapter 3 materials. These homeworks take longer. Chapter 3 is a little harder than both the other 2 chapters. And then below that section, chapters 1 through 3, is the exam materials for that same set of chapters. So I go through sort of some information about the exam. I have a topical review. We have online review. How that review works, it takes all those homework sets and it winnows it down to a subset of those problems that form the review. And that to make the exam, I winnow those problems down and that makes up the exam. So there are no problems that are quote unquote new for you on the exam. There will be differences because each problem has 3 or 4 scenarios followed by random numbers being generated. So the problems may sound and look different, but they're actually sort of all the same content. There's a little honor agreement and the sample self-proctoring video that we need to do. And we actually need to do that through Canvas. There's instructions on there. And I might update that sample video as well so to make sure that it's matching for our class. But we're going to self-proctor all of our exams. So it's really important that we get that sample in correctly so that when it comes to exam time, we know what to do and we do it correctly. Okay, so that's the exam materials. And then we jump into our second exam content stuff, chapters 4, 5, 6, and 7. Again, 4 and 5 are these are a little shorter chapters, so there's more of them in there. And then chapters 8, 9, and 12, and then exam 2, exam 3, and our final exam. So that finishes out the course. you can also access the materials through the homework. So if we go to homework 1A, again, similar to the other course, in that intro instructions, we have links to the PowerPoint and the playlist, and then we can start it on the questions. So here's a question: determine whether it's a parameter or a statistic. In a medical research study, the sample of 60 patients lowered their cholesterol. Over here, you can see we get only one try on this question. Most of the class, we get 3 tries and 3 similar questions. These ones are less because I want you to actually look it up. They're not hard. It's multiple choice. So, if you got it wrong, you can just go back and answer the other one and you get it right. So you only get one version and you get 2 more tries. So you still get 3 tries, but only one version on these. So let's say we get it wrong. Medical research study in the sample of 60 patients lowered their cholesterol. I know because it says the word sample that it's a statistic. If it doesn't say the word sample, then it's a parameter. There's a hint. We can also look that up in the PowerPoint. I could just show you how to do that real quickly. If I have my PowerPoint open, I can come down a couple of pages here. Parameter versus statistic. Statistics deal only with the sample. Sample mean, sample standard deviation, sample variance. Parameters deal with the entire population. So here's an example, a couple examples, and then it gets into types of data. So if it has the word sample in the problem, that will be a statistic. I'm going to answer parameter here so I can get it wrong. Oh, I keep getting this wrong. So then I could try a similar question. I get 2 more tries. I get a similar question. Oh, let's see. 1/3 of the country has cable. Notice it doesn't say the word sample, so it has to be a parameter. I'm going to get it wrong again. I'm going to say statistic. Now I'm down to my last try. So rather than using my last try, on many questions, you get three tries per question and then three versions. But this is my last version. I could post to the forum and I could say, I seem to not understand these. I keep getting them right like half the time. That would be like what you would get when you guess at 50-50. And you could post that to the forum. And then when you go back here with someone else is coming to that problem, they could go in there, and if they went to post to the forum themselves, it would say there's already a post to the forum. So this question has already been posted. Read about the particulars in the link below. So then they can actually go see that post that way. You can also go to forums up here, and you can see the chapter 1 forum, and we'll open that up. There will be forums for each chapter, and then you can see all the questions that were asked in chapter 1. And you can link into here and you'll see my response if I want to give a reply. It says like, if it contains the, I don't usually like to answer the question. I usually like to point you to the right place. So I might say something like, see page 6 of the PowerPoint. But here I'm just going to tell you for a little bonus for watching the video. If it contains the word sample, it is a statistic. Otherwise, a parameter. And I would post that, and then everyone who wanted to go to the forum could see that post. And if you had a question on that same problem, you could see it there. Okay, going back to the homework. Again, you're in the homework, you have a question on something, you want to go back to the video. You can always get back there by going up to the, we're down here on question 6. You can get back there by going up to there. You don't have to hit, you can do a problem. I guess you have to just submit it every time. You don't have to save progress up here. See where it says save progress? It'll save progress when you leave. It doesn't have to, you don't have to hit that. You also don't have to use the done button. I'm not sure whether that stops you from working on it. But we don't really need either of those. If you just submit and then you stop working on it, it'll keep track of where you are. The late passes, they're not showing up for me here, but when you go here and you click on that guy, the late pass, it should say right here, redeem late pass. The trick there is you want to use them before the homework closes. So you would need to use them before 11:59 on Friday. Don't extend these first ones, get them done. They're very quick. We get I think pretty much unlimitedly it passes for this stats class, but the first 10 count as extra credit for you. So if you don't use them at the end of the quarter, you get 10 points extra credit. Multiple tries. So again, yeah, later in the homework, however many, it's usually 3 versions, each with 3 tries. So, but if you're getting a problem wrong 2 or 3 times, you're not understanding something. It's better not to just keep redoing it. It's better to figure out, why am I getting it wrong? Okay, I think I've gotten everything on my list. So again, I'll post some information about study hours, or maybe it's already posted. And I would encourage you to come by, especially in this first couple of weeks, to introduce yourself. I actually offer some extra credit for doing that, and I'll post about that as well. But my first set of study hours will be in person tomorrow from 12:35 to 1:15. Oh, I shouldn't say it. I should just say, look it up, because maybe I can reuse the video. So I'll have study hours this week. Forget the times, but I'll post them they're already posted the syllabus, and I'll post them on the website as well. Again, let me know if you have questions, and good luck getting started. One final note, I know it says 2C is due a week from Friday, but I would say try to get through these first couple chapters by the beginning of next week in the stats class, and then you're in a great place in here to be successful. And then in the algebra class, maybe a little follow that menu and see how it goes for you. But in this class, let's try to get ahead if we can. That'll make our life a lot easier going forward.